Good afternoon, everyone. It's Lisa from Lillypillystitches Studio Vlogs. I'm coming to you from a very warm and steamy Brisbane in Queensland, Australia. It's Sunday afternoon, the 26th of October. And I thought I meant to record a video last weekend and just time got away from me with life stuff, and then it's been a busy week, so I didn't feel like it after work. So now I'm coming to you today. So I thought I was going to get all dolled up, and then I went, you know what, I just need to record this because there's a storm coming this afternoon with possible hail and strong winds and all that sort of thing. And I just wasn't feeling it. So I thought I'm just going to record the video now, and it, you get me as you see me. So what have I been up to? I have bound off the bottom of my champagne cardigan, which I'm about to show you. So I was meant to do an Italian bind off. Oops, there goes my knitting needles and the very long cord. Sorry about the dogs. Wayne's out the front scraping up the Barry, the brush turkey, dragged leaves and everything all across the driveway for his mound, but he gets halfway done and he's a bit ADHD and then he leaves it. So I've finally bound off. I didn't end up, it looks a little bit different because I didn't end up doing, I can't even remember if I don't think I've shown you this. I ended up binding off, I still did the double knitting, the 2 rows of double knitting as per the pattern, but I started to try to do the Italian bind off. Now to do that, they suggest you cut the yarn 3 times the length of, you leave the tail 3 times the length or circumference of what you're doing. I did 4 times just to be safe, but being that it's mohair held with pure wool, if you're an embroiderer, you will know that that does not spell well. The longer the yarn, the knottier it gets. And on the first bind off stitch, which is basically just Kitchener stitch, so don't feel afraid of Italian bind off, it's actually straight up Kitchener stitch. It's just you're doing it on one line, but I have seen tutorials where you put the front and back stitches on 2 separate cables, and then it's literally straight up Kitchener stitch. So anyway, I tried, and on the first bind off stitch it got all tangled and knotty because it was so long, and I went, you know what, this is going to be a disaster and I do not want to have knit all this and then have to rip back. So luckily I'd only done 1 stitch. So what I did was I ended up just picking up the end stitch where I just cast off 1 stitch. So I had 1 stitch like loop, and then I just did the normal bind off loose with knit 2, slip 1 over, and I just did it real loosey goosey. And it's actually the I found, having done the 2 rows of double knitting where you slip 1, knit 1, it actually is the bit that makes it stretchy. And then I just bound off loosely like normal. So if you're afraid to do that, a huge lot of Kitchener stitch, then just do the 2 rows of double knitting. The only thing you'll get is a little line, but I don't think it looks, bad or anything. And it's just like a hem, and you just get that along the bottom. So that's it, all bound off. Nothing's pulling, it's all really good. So now I've just got the sleeves to pick up and knit, and then the button band. But I don't know if you'll see any more progress on this year, unless we have some cool days, because it is well, tomorrow, it's hot today. I don't know what it is today, 30 something. And then tomorrow it's going to be 35. And yeah, it's just really steamy and hot. So not really the weather for a giant mohair wool cardigan to sit on top of you while you're knitting. But we'll see. Otherwise, I'll pick it back up in the autumn and finish it. So I'm sorry. I know I'm a slow knitter, and I'm sorry if you get frustrated looking at a project over and over again and then I don't even finish it straight away. But now I'm on to the fairly easy part of the sleeves, and I won't even do a double knitting for the sleeves. I think it calls for that. I'm just going to do for the sleeves, because I don't need them to be loosey-goosey. I'm just going to do a normal ribbed bind off, like bind off in pattern. Knit 2 or purl 2, bind off, slip one over, you know. So that's that project. Actually, I should put that back in the bag before I forget. Otherwise, at the end, it's all a mess. That takes 2 seconds. I'll just pop those needles back in. Right. So that's that project's progress. Then I've done a little bit. You won't see a lot of difference, but I have knit quite a bit. I need to measure it actually to see how far I've got to go, because I must be getting close to having knit the right amount for the cloud blouse. For the this is all going on the back there, so I must be getting close to doing the, like this, the shoulder bit, and then coming around to join in the round for the jumper. So that's what I've done so far. It's a really good project because it's nice and light and airy. And weighs nothing. So I took that with me recently. I'm going to be sharing footage because I won tickets and went with a stitchy friend to last weekend to the Brisbane Craft and Quilt Fair. So that was really fun. So I'll share some footage after this. So I put it in this bigger bag that I made a while ago in this lovely fabric my mum gave me. It has like metallic for the bird. So this fit in my shopping bag, like my big satchel that I had, and it didn't weigh anything, so it was nothing to take on the train and carry around the craft and quilt show. So that's where I'm up to with that one. What have I got in here? Okay, so that's a new, I've had a bit of cast on itis. So I have this yarn that I bought from Knit or Dye Aus, and it's in the dugong colorway, and it's a 12 ply. And so I'm making a cabled hat by Tin Can Knits. I've just forgotten what it's called specifically, but I'll put the details down below. And then I almost completely fluffed it up because I was knitting on the train and I realized I didn't bring any stitch markers, a cable needle or anything. I had a crochet hook, that was it. And I went, oh yeah, I'm gonna start the cable pattern. And I stuffed it up in the first like 2 inches, like 2 inches of stitches going along, not 2 inches in height. And just the first round, and I'm like, oh no. So I started to undo it, and then, you know, undoing, what did I do? Oh, because, you know, cable stitches are a pain. I don't know if you've ever done cabling and then had to undo it because they're all twisted around. So it all got all faffed up. So I just ripped the stitches off, and then I had to get my crochet hook. Thank God I had that. And I'm on the train, and then I'm like trying to pick up stitches. And how I pick up stitches in purl, like purl bumps, is I just turn it round. So I turn it round to the inside of the fabric, and then it's a knit stitch to pick up. Then I turn it back around and pick the knit stitches up on this side and then back around. So it was a bit of faffing, and this older lady was like watching me, totally entertained by my faffing. But yeah, so I fixed it up. These ones look a little bit dodge just here, but I don't think you'll notice in the end of once I've done the hat. So yeah, so I'm doing this hat for a friend. It's lovely yarn, and it's by Knit or Dye Aus. And if you're in Brisbane, she has a little stall in Annerley at Vend market, and she also has her pottery there if you want to get a mug or a cute vase or something. As well as, where's the thing? I've got it in the sheep bag, as well as yarn, hand-dyed yarn, if you don't want to buy it online from her. And the lady, Auntie Nat's Knits, has advertised on Instagram that she's got more of this fabric, and she's making more of these bags as well in preparation for next year's Queensland Yarn Fest. She's aiming to have this fabric in bags next year. So if you missed this year, keep an eye on her website, and also come to next year's Queensland Yarn Fest, and you'll be able to pick up, if you get in early, go straight to her store. As soon as you arrive, that's the first store you got to go to if you want one of these bags, because she will sell out fast. Like the first day, she sold pretty much everything in her stall, and there was nothing left hardly for the next day. So yeah, so that's a heads up well in advance of next year. So the next thing I cast on this week, on Monday, I have this yarn from Bellevue Park Wool near the Blue Mountains in New South Wales. And this is the Splice colourway. If you're from Australia, you know Splice ice blocks, ice lollies. They're this colour. And so that's this colour. And then I've left it, but I've got this teal coloured yarn, which is called Kingfisher, also by Bellevue Park Wool. Now these are 8-ply, 100% superfine merino wool, and yes, no nylon content. I'm knitting these for Wayne for his birthday. I only started on Monday, and because they're DK weight, this is where I've got to. This wool's a bit plumper than normal DK, so I didn't have the right size needles. Normally I use 3.25 millimeter for my DK socks, but I jumped up to a 3.5 millimeter needle, and I wouldn't have gone like less for these, because it is a plumper yarn, and it's so soft, it's like butter. You know, when you're making, this is weird, neurodivergent me's coming out now. You know, if you've ever made scones, you have to rub the butter into the flour. The feel of the soft butter in with the silky flour, that's this yarn, okay? Really soft and lovely, and just wonderful to knit with. And I mean, if you were doing a cable hat with this, I mean, it would look spectacular. And I have some Vine colourway from Bellevue Park Wool, which looks like camouflage. It's like an army green. I'm going to be knitting a hat in that for a friend. So yeah, it's going to be really nice and soft and warm to wear. So if you're looking for a really nice pure wool that's really soft and lovely, and nice to knit with and makes a beautiful fabric, I can definitely recommend Bellevue Park Wool's 8-ply, and I'm sure their other bases are as lovely, and it's all grown in New South Wales, so even better. Yeah, so I thought these colours, this is 100 grams, so I wanted to knit really long socks. So I've got this other 100 gram one that I was going to keep for myself, but I've decided to pair it with this, which I think it goes perfect. So I've put the line in here, so I did about an inch of 1x1 rib, and then just stocking it. And then when I eyeballed it, I don't even know how long I did it, but I just eyeballed it because Wayne wears these with his steel cut boots, so I wanted nice thick socks. So I wanted these to be long enough to go over the top so it's not rubbing on his ankle, the boot. So these will come up over the top of the boot slightly, and I'm going to put the heel, afterthought heel, in here. And now I'm just working my way down to the toe, and I need to measure it because I think I'm getting pretty close. I might be like that far off from doing the toe, which I'll do in this colour. And then I realised, because I've used it this way, I might even have just a little bit left to swap it and do this as the cuff, heel and toe for another pair of socks, and then the main colour would be this teal colour. So he'll have two pairs of socks in the same colourway but just swapped around. So yeah, so anyway, so I haven't even got halfway through this ball and I'm almost at the toe, so I'll have plenty left over for that. So these have 280 meters per 100 grams, so quite generous. And yeah, just beautiful to work with. So I can totally recommend Bellevue Park wool. And if you're in Queensland, I believe that yarn place out of Samford, that's the name of the shop, that yarn place, that's what it's called. They're out at Samford. You can get their wool there. So check that out. Otherwise, I think they were at Bendigo Sheep and Wool show, and they were at the Queensland Yarn Fest, and I think a lot of other stores now are starting to stock their wool. It's really lovely, or they sell it online, I think. So that's that one. The only other thing I've worked on is I started a new cross stitch design, which is the Rose and the Giant Pear 1888, and I'm stitching it on 40 count needle and flax hand dyed linen in the Fragile colorway, and this is a design by Hands Across the Sea Samplers, and this is what it is. So I have just basically gone through my stash of DMC and tried to pick colors that match that. So it's not going to be exactly the same, but it'll be close. So this is what I picked. I think I did pretty well with the border. Oops. Yeah, so I've just started the, oops, this way. Just started the border here. And that's a bit fiddly because you've got to keep changing yarn colour, thread colour, sorry, because it only goes for a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm just working on that border, and it's only going to be small. So once I have finished it, I will list out all the DMC that I use for my conversion. So that, my friends, is all of my current whips that I've been working on. And yeah, so on to other things. Books, I started on Monday, and normally I'm a really slow reader, but I started this book on Monday. It's called Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair, and she has a number of other books, Blood of Lilith, and it says, it has a quote, "I would go to war for you." Estranged from her powerful family, Lilith Leviathan finds refuge in Nineveh, a district of the city of Eden devoted to sin. There she uses her magic to steal for a living, attracting the attention of the 5 governing families as well as the church, which expects women to remain pious and silent. When Lilith comes into possession of a beautiful blade, she thinks all her worries are over, until the usual buyer dies while inspecting it. Frantic, Lilith turns to the only man who can help her, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Za'arev, head of the Zareth family, the ruler of Nineveh, or Nineveh, I don't know what you call it. His currency is information, and his power is extortion, though he's always had a soft spot for Lilith. But when the dagger appears, he isn't sure he can protect her from what's to come. Together they embark on a mission to discover the true power running their world. As their lives intertwine, Lilith realizes he's more than just a friend, but their devotion to each other is a threat. So to the truth, to the church, and to choose who, and to those who want to tear it all down. So anyway, really, really good. I can't put it down. I've got about 80 pages to go, and definitely recommend this book if you want a bit of feminine rage, bit of you know, romance, slow burn, and an interesting take in a fantasy environment on religion. So yeah, if that sounds like it's up your alley, definitely recommend it. There's 480 pages of the book, and I went through that like whew, just reading in my lunch break or after hours after work, or on the train. So yeah, just haven't been able to put it down. It's really good, so I can thoroughly recommend that one. So I'm almost finished that, and I'm not sure what book I'll read next. Last week, well, the week before, I have friends overseas that I wanted to shop for. So if you're my friends overseas that live in Switzerland, then look away if you happen to be randomly watching this. But anyway, or switch off now or fast forward. They had a stall set up when I went to get coffee across the road at the one of the office blocks, and it was Queensland Aboriginal artists selling their handmade items. And so I went over and I got this one. Is Delvene Cockatoo-Collins is a First Nations artist and designer who lives and works in Quandamooka country. Original artworks, ceramics, sculptures and homewares are hand printed in her Dunwich studio on North Stradbroke Island. And I got a beautiful linen hand printed and designed cushion cover, like lounge cushion cover, like a big cushion. So I got that one to send over. I got this cute magnet with some Aboriginal art to send over. I got this beautiful pendant made out of, I think, seed pods and hand painted. I think they're empty seed pods and hand painted by a local artist. I'll see if I've got her name here. Windajindas, crafted by good women. Latasha, Jaalie, Nankivell. And crafted by Gore women. So that's their logo. And that's their details there. And I will pop a link to that down in the dialogue box tomorrow, in the description box below. So if you're interested in checking her out, you can. And I also got this cute hand painted gumnut key ring. So I got that. So I got those. So that was nice. So I'm going to be sending those overseas soon. And that's it. So without further ado, I will see you in a fortnight. And without further ado, I'll install the footage I took at the Brisbane Craft and Quilt show. Okay, bye.